All right, welcome to my Epic Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are multiple mediums on which you can enjoy this content. But the best way, in my opinion, is to go to the blog. And the blog can be found at myepicsbuddies.blogspot.com. But that is a lot to remember and a lot to type in. So, wherever you are interacting with this content, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, something of that nature. You click on that. It'll either say a link to my FX Buddies blog or it'll have the link there. If you're on a mobile device on YouTube, you might have to click more twice. Alright. Also, I'm going to ask you, hit the thumbs up button. This is going to be another good one. To me, in my opinion, surprising revelations have come out. Alright. So, thank you. I'm going to try to keep this 30 minutes, but I got to tell you, there's a lot of articles. Remember I said, usually Tuesday into Wednesday, there's a lot of news that comes out. So, but I only want to cover, so we got some CBI stuff. We got some U.S. President made an interesting comment about Sudani stuff. And there's one other thing. So I basically want to cover 3 things. And there's a lot of articles. So I really recommend, for those of you who say, well, I don't understand, why isn't it happening? You need to start reading the articles. And I know there's people out there, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow, it's going to happen this weekend. But what if it doesn't? What are the citizens of the country being told? Right? And that's how you find out, by reading the articles. It doesn't mean the articles are true. It just means that's what they're telling the citizens. That's the storyline they are giving their citizens, just as here in America, we get a storyline. TV programming, right? Radio programming, because it's the story of the day that they want you to believe, right? All right, anyway, so let's get into it. It is Tuesday, December 2nd. This may upload for Tuesday, December 2nd, or it may say Wednesday, but this is all articles that came out today, Tuesday, December 2nd. And what am I calling December? Do something. And what did I say? Yes, I'm saying Iraq, do something, but also you with your personal life. Don't just sit around and wait for this. There's going to be more layoffs. I'm not speaking doom and gloom to you, but you don't know. You don't know. Have a plan B. Start a side job. All kind, anyway, another place, another time. Anyway, big CBI update. Digital Iraqi Dinar, bank reforms, and the dollar returns. What? Alright. Al-Alaq reveals assurances. Banks banned from assessing dollars will return to their normal operations. That's the boring title. So there they had this meeting. They were really excited about this meeting. They even tweeted about it. So it says, Al-Alaq, who's the CBI governor, revealed on Tuesday that there are assurances regarding the return of banks that were barred from dealing in dollars to the normal environment after the completion of the required reform stages. So the meeting or session was attended by a select group of experts and specialists, but it doesn't say who they were. His Excellency, the governor of the CBI, Mr. Ali Mohsen Al-Alaq, presented a comprehensive overview of the banking reform process and upcoming structural plans, emphasizing that rebuilding the banking sector is the cornerstone of the bank's work at the present stage. He talked about Oliver Wyman's report and what came after the ban on dollar transactions imposed on a number of Iraqi banks with the aim of implementing deep and comprehensive reforms to ensure the banking institution's compliance with international standards. He revealed that there are assurances. Yeah. Okay, so that's one thing there that he talked about. He also noted there are international bodies closely monitoring the progress of the banking reform process. Regarding digital transformation, he confirmed again that the Digital Dinar project is underway. Digital Iraqi Dinar project is underway, but it requires time and integrated infrastructure to ensure its optimal launch. He reiterated his commitment to maintaining overall price stability by keeping inflation low through the stability of the official exchange rate, which is what? 1310 for now, right? Which is a major success for monetary policy. He added that reducing the Iraqi dinar's exchange rate would have negative repercussions on the stability, harming broad segments of citizens with limited incomes and weakening confidence in the national currency. So yeah, alright, and then here's another. So there's one, this one with all the pictures is the one that's on the CBI site. And the others that I'm reading to you are articles posted in, I'm going to say newspapers, but let's say on websites, but I think they have newspapers, but you have to go to the right place to get it. So there was one thing. What was the other thing? Here. The central bank reassures comprehensive reforms and a swift return of banks deprived of dollars. So what's important about this? Again, he said they're not going to change the exchange rate, but that's what they have to say. The emphasis is mostly on time, right? And they're still trying to be compliant with international standards, which is why Oliver Wyman is there. But I still think this is all good. It doesn't matter that he says he needs time. He has to say that, right? And we know. We don't know, but it's very unlikely they're going to change the rate this year, right? Oh, look at that image of the CBI. So, yeah, it is what it is. But I think this was a very powerful meeting. Because why didn't they say who was there? They normally say who was there and what they represent. But they didn't, right? And we know, I know there's hearsay out there that there's Federal Reserve people there. They're always there, you guys. They're always there. Remember, we have the U.S. Treasury who has the whole floor in that CBI building. And have you seen the CBI building? Do you see how huge that is? There it is back there in the background. I don't know. Some people say the 8th, the 9th, the 4th. Who cares? How do they know? They haven't been there. But they did put in writing. Matter of fact, I think it did say the 4th floor. Because I'm not even going to tell you why. But if you used to watch the Martin show, 4th floor, 5th floor. You know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway. Alright, so yeah. But the World Bank is always there. We're always there. Now, and you know me, I like to hear the hearsay, but I want to see it in writing. So, in my opinion, these people, there's 60 people there, or 100 people, whatever. It's hearsay. Alright? Maybe they are, maybe they are not. All right, anyway, so here, financial corruption in Iraq is swallowing billions of dollars from the state treasury. So, I don't think any of these articles blame the people. Let's see. Because this one is talking about the plundering of Iraq's wealth and assets, crimes of wasting public financial corruption. You can only open your mouth wide and rub your eyes hard after organized corruption within the oil-rich state has become transcontinental and has become fiercely rampant in recent years. Specifically, since the American occupation of Baghdad in 2003. So yeah, this, if you want to read about corruption, because it's everywhere. In every government, there's corruption. Sorry, I know that's a very cynical way to look at life, but if you read what I read and hear what I hear, you would believe that also. I mean, look at even here. Oh, look at this. The corruption has brought about dramatic changes in the political, economic, and social landscape within Iraq. It has created a class of new billionaires and nouveau riche. I skipped right over that. I wonder who wrote this. I mean, I know who wrote it. The name is right there, but what? How do they know about nouveau riche? Anyway, we have to keep moving. So the title of that article is Financial Corruption in Iraq is Swallowing Billions of Dollars from the State. All right. So again, the people every day, the citizens are being told about the exchange rate, and the speculators are out there saying, oh, they're going to change the exchange rate, but the CBI is like, no, we're not. Don't listen to them, right? Look at this. This is the surprise. U.S. President speaks about, I know it says the Sudanese man, but that's Sudani, and he is not from Sudan, okay? So, he is my friend, and he nominated me for the Nobel Prize. Did we know that? I don't think we knew that. So this came out today. Now this is that. See how these words are highlighted? I guess you could click on them and they take you to other articles, but this is that publication that puts words backwards. So, but guess what? We got a good one. So, U.S. President warmly thanks Sudanese official. He nominated me for the Nobel Peace Prize, and there's that iconic picture. So, U.S. President said he was surprised by the Iraqi Prime Minister's decision to nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize, stressing that he did not expect this decision from Iraq. Regarding the situation in the country and the relationship between Baghdad and Washington, the U.S. President confirmed that Iraq has become closer to the U.S. as a result of the American projectiles through the sky that go kablooey when they land. Okay, I hope you know what I'm saying. That fell on the neighbor during the 12-day war. Remember, I switched up. Instead of saying aggressive conflict, I'm just going to say more, right? All right. He added, okay, I'm not even going to talk about that there, but you could read that. So, the U.S. President's remarks, well, I guess I could say bully. The U.S. President said the neighbor is a bully in the Middle East. Okay? But Iraq is more friendly in its relations with the United States. I hope so. All right? So the U.S. President's remarks came at the end of a long 2-hour meeting of the U.S. administration at the White House, which concluded with a question from, a Kurdish journalist. I don't know how to say her name. I think it was her. Let's see. Kurdistan. No, because they want like a golden dome type thing over. Kurdistan wants its own over their oil fields because now they've been the subject of combustion, right? Twice now. Okay. So the U.S. president responded he was aware of what had happened and that it was at the top of his list of priorities, but said that the question about an air defense system for Iraq was unusual. And he spoke at length about Sudani's unexpected stance regarding the U.S. president's support for winning the Nobel Prize. I was totally shocked. When that first article came out, I was like, no, that can't be right. But then one by one, more articles started to come out in different places. So I said, okay, it must be true. Let's see. So here, new details have emerged about the framework talks for selecting a prime minister, and this is the American position. So remember I said I was going to be very choosy about the articles I post on that, even though it's in the news all day, right? This was from a TV show. This person here, whoever he is, he's a former member of parliament, right? We can skip what he said, but here he indicated 6 names have been submitted so far, but Mohammed Shia al-Sudani has the greatest chance for a second term. So we don't see that. That's rare for someone to say that, right? In the other articles, it's all, oh, he's not going to get a second term. There's one article that said he nominated a body for prime minister, which he was already prime minister once. So I don't, it's just crazy. But everyone today is looking for ministerial positions, and there is no direct nomination from most blocs for the position except for the State of Law and Reconstruction and Development bloc. Now remember, State of Law is Maliki's group, and Restructuring and Development is Sudani's group, but they are now umbrellaed under the framework. They have the largest bloc, right? Which they can then have the largest weight of vote on who's chosen, right? So Sudani is committed to the framework's decisions and meetings and will not leave it or impose his convictions on it. So what did we say? Whatever. So this same guy said the arrival of American delegations to Iraq is a good thing. So maybe he is talking about those people, the group that all the other people are talking about, and Frank's people have told him there's a big delegation. Maybe they are there, right? This guy could be referring to them. The arrival of American delegations to Iraq is a good thing and does not involve interference in the formation of the government or the selection of the prime minister, but rather includes messages regarding figures on whom international sanctions are imposed, which are delivered through envoys to forces inside and outside the framework, noting that the government is dealing with this file at the present time. And this was interesting too. He said the U.S. does not have a problem with the PMF as an entity, but rather has indications about some factions, emphasizing the language of pew-pews cannot dictate Iraq's foreign policy, and that elections will determine the roadmap for the next stage. So it goes on and on. It's pretty long, so I'm not going to read all of it, but if you'd like to, you can. Alright, and I put the part that I read is in blue. Alright, so let's see. American praise for the progress achieved in Iraq on both the security and infrastructure fronts. Look at this. This looks like a nice little intimate party, right? It's outside, I believe, and they have a fireplace outside. So yeah, they're having dinner, maybe lunch. I don't know. Because the lights are on. Lights are on. Forgive me. I know. That's Eddie Murphy. That's in my brain and it just comes out sometimes. All right. So the U.S. Undersecretary of State for Resources, Michael Regas, praised the progress made in Iraq on both the security and infrastructure fronts. So he's there. And here, see, they listed all those people. And the charge d'affaires, Joshua. Oh, look here, they called him ambassador. Technically, he's not ambassador, he's a charge d'affaires, but whatever. So if you'd like to read that, you can. I mean, I'm sure whatever they're saying here is not the whole truth, right? So they discussed issues of interest to both countries, right? That's usually what they say. Noting that future prospects for cooperation that can be effectively activated during the next stage were discussed, whether in the areas of investment, cultural exchange, or strategic coordination on files of common interest. So there's a little more to that. Here's an article, Financial Fraud Weakens Citizens' Trust in Banks. But we're going to skip that. You can read that if you'd like. Here they're talking about 816 billion dinars collected in electronic payments during the month. Is it the month of November? Yeah, during the month of November. All right. Here's another article, Finance in Iraq, Financial Chaos and Potential Risks. So, another day's gone by. They didn't pay the petitioners. Excuse me, that's not the right word. What are the people? Pensioners. Sometimes they call them retirees. Sometimes they're pensioners. But there is an article saying that there's an argument between the finance minister and someone else, some other position. There's some argument they're having, and that's the delay of the payment. But that's probably Bavarian sweet cream, right? We know there's a liquidity crisis, and it probably has more to do with that. Anyway, and so what is that going to do? I think that's going to put pressure on the parallel market price because the people are getting nervous. They're like, hey, now it's December 3rd and you haven't paid us. So it doesn't look good, right? And so here, now this I would like to go over, but we just don't have time. But the UN guy spoke at the UN, and he looks very professional. He's in a suit. He doesn't have on he's from Oman, and if you've seen how the Omanis dress, he does not have that on. He has on a business suit, and it looks like he got a haircut also. But they said the U.S. president's policy will continue to strengthen relations with Iraq. It's always good to hear that, right? Okay, here's another article, A Rapid Revolution. Electronic payment is changing the lives of millions of Iraqis with smart and secure solutions. So there they are. They're talking about the key card and some other payment. They want to extend these payment systems to cities, rural villages, and rural areas and villages. But they also list, so here's some awards the key card's gotten. I don't know what that is right there. Yeah, I'm scared to say that word. But here, this is another company. This Zane Cash is a company. this is a company, Arab Pay, Iraqi Trade Bank. So, yeah. Alright, if you'd like to support my FX buddies, notice what's no longer here. The coin. The coin is, you could still buy some, but the pre-sale options are gone. And what was the pre-sale? Each coin was 0.0005. And if you joined from a referral link, you got 5,000 bonus coins. So that period is over. Now they're in Launchpad, I think is what he's calling it. Anyone can buy. You can get in anywhere. You just won't get bonus points. And now the cost of each coin is 0.0010. So thank you to all that got involved. And you won't be left if you're going to need help connecting the wallet. Somehow I'll make a way where we can connect and you can get help. Alright? So don't think I'm just going to abandon you. I'll try my best. Alright? So, yeah, you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/dishwash. But this would be a link when this is a live blog. This would be a link to it. Or a Cash App is all the way live. I think I need to thank someone. Okay, it might just be my regular angel givers. Yes, that's what that was. Okay, but I thank her. She is very good to me. Alright, so PayPal and then big or small, I appreciate it all. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Okay, we're going to skip this. Germany's there talking to Sadani. They were worried about OPEC cutting their oil production, but they are not. In fact, they may even increase their production levels. Here's another article about our besieged economy. This is written by, I don't know. It's pretty good. It doesn't really tear them down. It's more like, because of corruption and because we only rely on oil, we still have steps to take. Don't get me wrong, we're doing good. We're up to global standards. Iraq is among the richest countries in the world. We rank highly in wealth classification. But the problem is they're not handling the wealth correctly. So it's really good. It's a good article to read, but I don't have time to go over it. Here is another. So here's that guy, Michael Regis, I don't know how to say his name. He went to go meet with Fuad Hussein. Alright. And they discussed the imminent opening of the U.S. consulate in Erbil. And guess when that opens? December 3rd. Yeah. Okay, so here's the guy. Look how different he looks without his head wrap on and in a suit. But I call for the formation of both the Kurdistan regional government and the Iraqi government as soon as possible. So I'm going to put his speech. It's about 18 minutes. Is it here? No. It's about 18 minutes. And he speaks, matter of fact, he does it in English. He makes a point. He gives the greetings they give. Assalamu alaikum, I think, or Bismillah Rahim. One of those two. And then he says, today I'm going to speak in English. So, I thought that was interesting. So, yeah, right here, I just have the link, but I'll put the video here. It's usually good, like I said, it's usually good to listen to these things, even though it's boring as all get out. But you're waiting for something to change that could possibly change your life, you'd want to hear, right? And so here is the announcement. The new U.S. Consulate General in Erbil, the world's largest consulate, will be opened Wednesday, December 3rd. Then it gives the size and everything. And here's Miss Barbara Leaf. They asked her opinion. Iraqi leaders must bravely take the pew-pews away from the unapproved groups. Alright. So then you can read what she had to say if you'd like. And I think we're almost done. We're almost done. Oh, here's an article about the new mechanism that did go into effect. The Advanced Customs Declaration comes into effect. So, and this is good. It's a good translation. If you read it, it will make sense, right? But see this? Name and coding of the importing bank and company. So that ISCUDA system is no joke. If you want to see how it works, here's all the things they have to input. It's connected to SWIFT. That's how they do dollar transfers. Yeah. So if you want to read about that, I know some people like to read stuff like that. So it's there. All right. That is the last article. So thank you. We're going to get out of here about 32 minutes. So I will ask you to hit the thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. What else? Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Stay tuned. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Yeah. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time.